the greatest things about really when you visit a new place is, well, it used to be, didn't it really, chums, going around the shops, you know, particularly in the era of when there were those great department stores. And let's all remember the fact that we all enjoyed it. I remember going to Lewis's. Remember that big department store, and going along to see Santa Claus, and that was a big event. Absolutely, because it was the excitement of going through all the toy department, all the big areas that, you know, your mum and dad shopped in, and you thought, wow, this is incredible. You didn't really know where you were in, but you knew it had a buzz and excitement. Now, there are very few little department stores around when you think about it today. Here in London, you know, we still have Harrods, Harvey Nicks, and of course, Selfridges. And Selfridges really is defined by the fact that they've got these wonderful, glorious yellow bags, which apparently are made out of recycled coffee cups. Oh yes. And I do sort of think they need that, don't they? A lot of these places, you know, when somebody gets on the bus or the tube, I know it's got Selfridges on the side, but you think, yeah, they've been there, and you can see more or less how much they've spent, you know what I'm saying, chums? That's the fascinating thing about the beauty of those stores. So many have now gone by the wayside, and many of us now have to shop online, whether we want it or not, because, well, there's nowhere else to go. Thankfully though, this man, Harry Gordon Selfridge, well, he really was an entrepreneur. He made sure that his empire, Selfridges, which of course he picked to make sure that the brand new Central line, which was about to open, would bring in hordes of shoppers. He became as famous as the store itself. But one particular story with a royal connection I wanted to share with you, because quite frankly, it made me smile. And the other side of the coin, really, when you look at it, is what a wonderful missed opportunity. As ever, let me explain. Lovely to see you, chums. Thank you so much for your time today. We'll have a lovely wave. Are you keeping well? I'm all right. Thank you very much. I don't know about you, but as I said, there's no real department stores to go around. And I first, you know, came to London, and there were so many, and it was still quite exciting. You didn't need to be able to buy anything. It was just wonderful to wander around and look at things you couldn't afford, you know. You know what I mean, though? You sort of think, right, you know, is this what rich people do? I remember going in Ralph Lauren in New Bond Street, I think it was, and that was when Ralph Lauren was the big thing, you know. And I picked up a pair of socks, and you know what it's like. You get, I thought it was £3.50. Yes, I know. And this was way back. And they were £35 a pair. Can you imagine? £35 a pair for a pair of socks. I almost passed out. But the thing was, you know, I didn't have that money, obviously. And I said, oh, I'll have a rethink. I've never forgotten the shame of it, because that's the thing, isn't it? You go in thinking you're going to be a big cheese. It's a little bit like this man, John Logie Baird, a man, of course, who's created so much entertainment for so many of us around the world. Couple of blue plaques up over here in London, which at least recognise his contribution to a wonderful form of entertainment. But not everything was easy. It's interesting to note that when he was trying to get, you know, exposure, backing, money, all of that sort of stuff, well, he truly struggled. Not more so than when he went to the Daily Express, hoping that they might write a feature. And he was booted out by the editor, basically saying, you're a crackpot and a nutter, this'll never take off. Even the BBC at the time didn't foresee exactly, headed by Lord Reith, how this could really change, you know, the whole concept, the landscape of how we were going to be entertained. One man could, though. Harry Selfridge, oh yes. Now he knew a wonderful opportunity, knew about publicity, knew about drawing people in. And in 1925 he invited John Logie Baird to set up his brand new contraption to do live demonstrations in the store. Now not everything went to plan, as you can imagine. Nothing ever does when you've got a big audience, does it? Now where it got really interesting was this created such a buzz in the media, because he was allowing people to see themselves for the very first time on screen, literally in real time. That's how far he'd set it up. Now what had happened was, you know, the people of Selfridges wanted more. They wanted more publicity. So they decided to invite, you know, what we now call equerries from the royal household, with the idea that John Logie Baird could obviously go along to one of the palaces, Windsor, Buckingham, Kensington, and do a permanent demonstration in there, you know, so that the royals could see exactly whether they would like one of these, etc. Sadly for John Logie Baird, and I do feel sorry for this because it just happens to the best of us, apparently a good ensemble from the King's house came down to Selfridge as they're all stood around. There's Harry Selfridge. This is great, this is wonderful, you know, the wonderful showman that he was. And sadly, just as it was about to get going, it blew up, right? And not, you know, dramatically, but enough to make a bang and for women to scream, etc., you know. So you think, wow. Well, sadly, you know, they decided that they couldn't possibly risk this under the royal palace or indeed in the royal household, and the whole idea was scrapped. As you know, it took him some time eventually to get the idea that became television off the ground. And apparently it was well into the 1930s before the British monarchy, the royal family, decided that they too were going to start to look at the goggle box. Interesting story though, right? Neil Sean, Kensington, London.